morning, squad. Welcome back to MadMizzy Sports Morning Show, the #1 spot for everything sports-related news in the morning. Happy Tuesday. Man, I don't know about y'all, but Tuesday is the worst day of the week to me just because it's in the middle of the week. It's not like, all right, it's the beginning, like Monday, like, all right, you feel rejuvenated. It's not like Wednesday where it's like, all right, it's hump day, you get past this day, it's the end of the week. No, it's just ain't nothing here. Without basketball, there's no sports on to like save Tuesday, nothing to look forward to on Tuesday besides tacos. You dig what I'm saying? But with that being said, let's make sure we have a productive Tuesday today. And our lineup today is just going to be a bunch of football. We had two dominating wins by the Vikings, by the Eagles and by the Buffalo Bills yesterday. I got to touch on that. Another poor performance in prime time by Kirk Cousins. I gotta touch on that. The Bills and their just utter dominance to start off the season. I gotta touch on that. And then moving on from quarterbacks with a clear ceiling in 2022. As a 49ers fan, I have to touch on that. Now to start it off, let's just start off with the two blowout wins from yesterday. And to me, which one was more impressive? Let's just break down the two games from yesterday. The first one, the Buffalo Bills at the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans at the Buffalo Bills. Home opener for the Buffalo Bills. And they came out and they did exactly what I expected them to do, and that's dominate the game. They actually dominated it more than I expected them to. They completely shut down King Henry. He couldn't get anything going. Josh Allen came out there slinging the ball all around the yard. 4 touchdowns, 317 yards passing. 3 of those tubbies going to Stephon Diggs, who was just unguardable all night. To think this man ran a 4.7 in the 40 shows just how much that attribute can be overanalyzed. That speed can be overanalyzed, because if you play fast, you play big, then guess what? That's all that matters. You feel what I'm saying? But the Eagles game, I kind of didn't expect that. I was expecting a lot more from Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Reagor, Adam Thielen, that offense in general. They defense played pretty good, but you think about if you're going to give away the ball 3 times from Kirk Cousins with 3 interceptions, that's a recipe for disaster on the road against a team that can run the ball down your throat and take advantage of those turnovers. And that's what the Eagles did, running away with the game 24-7. So both of those games, the Eagles game was more surprising to me, but to me, the Bills were still more impressive simply because if you look at the Eagles, Kirk Cousins reverted back to what he always does in every prime time situation with the bright lights on. When he has a premier time slot, when he has a Sunday night football game, a Monday night football game, or a Thursday night football game, he does not perform well. You look at yesterday, he had 221 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. 2 of those interceptions, the play before, he had easy layup passes to Justin Jefferson. The first one, Justin Jefferson, boop, come across the middle. If you just stay on him, I literally seen that one. I'm like, if he just stayed on him, he got him coming across the middle. Then he tries to force it to Justin Jefferson on the next play. You think about they get the ball back on a turnover from that drive. The very next drive, he missed Justin Jefferson on a wheel route coming out the backfield. He comes back, he tries to force it to, I forget who. Interception, very next play. Then the jump ball to big play Slay at the end was just, what are you doing, bro? Like, it was inaccurate. Slay clearly had better position. He was just trying to force the ball all night. He's not a big game quarterback. That's why, to me, what the Eagles accomplished, it was impressive. But the way the Bills have just been coming out these first 2 games against 2 playoff teams from last year, the Super Bowl champs from last year, and then the #1 AFC seed from last year, the Tennessee Titans, and just utterly dominating them, looking like the team that we thought they would be. This is the first time to me you've seen these rosters that we looked at as like, oh, they're stacked, they're unstoppable, and they've come out and performed that way. Like, they're unstoppable. You can't score on them. You can't stop them from scoring. So I was just completely impressed with the performance that the Buffalo Bills put on tape last night. To move on, we got to get into Kirk Cousins and his primetime game woes. This has got to be a clear indication that the Minnesota Vikings should probably be looking for a quarterback in this upcoming draft. You cannot continue to be in the middle of the pack when you have such good talent on the football team because the quarterback has such a clear ceiling. You cannot continue to do that. You get what I'm saying? Like, we've seen over the past few years, they went to Philadelphia. in a deep playoff run, got beat on. Went to San Francisco in a deep playoff run, got beat on. Then missed the playoffs. You get what I'm saying? Every time he's on prime time, they get beat on. If I was a Minnesota Vikings fan, I would be sick of this, especially if you're not in Minnesota. So every time you really get that chance to where you don't gotta stream nothing, you ain't gotta scheme or do none of that extra stuff, you ain't gotta pay for the NFL Sunday ticket to watch your game because they on Sunday night, Monday night, or Thursday night football. As a Vikings fan, you can't even enjoy it because you know Kirk Cousins ain't gonna show up. You know he gonna go out there and turn the ball over. You know he gonna fold. So to me, the Vikings, out of all the teams this year, out of all the teams, probably should be looking for a quarterback in this upcoming draft, especially seeing how deep this draft is going to be. They have to find that key. It might not be a first-round quarterback. It might be a second, third-round quarterback, but they have to get some competition in that quarterback room, just like my San Francisco 49ers. Because when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs moving on from Alex Smith. Why? Because he had a clear ceiling compared to Patrick Mahomes. I remember those playoff games with the Chiefs. He would be missing Tyreek Hill and going underneath to Travis Kelce. You get what I'm saying? Missing clear touchdowns. So when you look at that, when you look at the Los Angeles Rams moving on from Jared Goff, who you clearly see he's a pretty good quarterback in the NFL. He's keeping the Detroit Lions afloat. When you see they moved on from him to Matthew Stafford because he had a clear ceiling. You cannot continue to go along in today's 2022 season with a quarterback that has such a clear ceiling, that's not seeing the game, that folds under pressure, that folds under the lights. You just cannot have that. You get what I'm saying? So to me, Kirk Cousins was so disappointing, but it was the same old Kirk Cousins under the lights. Disappointing. A shell of himself. So I'm looking for the Vikings to be looking for a quarterback in this upcoming season. I don't think Kellen Mound is it. So they will definitely be looking for a quarterback going into the 2023 NFL draft. And that's why we're looking forward to bringing back Trey Lance. I'm glad that we kept Jimmy G, but he had such a clear ceiling. I just ran down the good quarterbacks that got moved off of because you have a clear ceiling and you can't win in today's game when you have a clear ceiling. You just can't. When you can't hit a deep ball, when you can't read certain combinations and get the ball out where it's supposed to get to, or it's a person is running wide open and you just miss them. You can't have that. You just simply can't have that. You can't have you missing Justin Jefferson, then you coming back the next play and try to force it to him when he's not open. You get what I'm saying? You can't have Jimmy G up 10 points in fourth quarters of the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl and you lose both games because you can't make the plays. You can't have that happen. You just can't. So, but yeah, y'all know what it is. Let me know what y'all think, man. This is an all NFL edition of MadMizzy Sports Morning Show, episode 14. Terrible Taco Tuesday. Get y'all some tacos today. Y'all know what it is, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe, listen, alert. Yeah. MizzyWorld Entertainment. Gang.